And now for our second segment, Parenting Challenges Unplugged. This is the part where we actually talk about the things that you send us to think about. And that way we kind of answer it together, and hopefully you get some guidance, tips, tricks around how I might think about framing the conflict that you're bringing in. Now, obviously, I'm your coach here on the screen. I don't take the place of the therapist or psychiatrist that you guys might be seeing, but I'm happy to answer kind of the general concepts of what's going on and to give you some practical advice on best next steps to take. So let's take the first question, or our question of the day. Let's see, Dr. Mitnaul, when my child is confronted, it takes them forever to finally reveal the truth. I have to milk it out of them. How do I get my teen to be honest? All right. So parents, by a show of hands, how many of you have felt this or had this experience, right? That's just about all of us. And part of it is there's a shame cycle, right? We know that in our own experience of life and in relationships. When we've been caught red-handed, that isn't the first time, or it doesn't always feel like the right time that I want to bare my soul and share everything that I've, done wrong, or all the ways that I made a misstep. And so the first part that I change about the way that the question is being asked is confrontation, because often that is the way that we're greeting our kids. The setup when coming home from school can sometimes be, why is that backpack in the mudroom? Or why did you not say hello to me? When the easier first step actually is, let me draw you in with a hug, with a kiss, with a high five. How was your day? And kind of checking in with the person. So if we can already change the framework of how we're encountering our children by changing from a confrontation style to curiosity. Curiosity is one of those beautiful things that if we can get curious with them, often that doesn't actually label the person who's done the wrong or made the infraction. Now, bad things need to be addressed, right? So if there's a big infraction, there's been a punch, a kick, there isn't no, tiptoeing around that. We got to take it head on. But if you know that there's a big conversation that you need to have with your child where you really need them to be vulnerable and to offer the truth, rather than beginning with confrontation, let's take it a step at a time and say, hey, I'm curious. It sounds like this is going on. It sounds like, you're having a problem with this relationship, and the feedback that I'm getting is that you're being too rough, or it looks like bullying behavior. Can you help me understand this? Can you help me understand this, again, is a term that allows you to move from confrontation mode to sitting beside them and thinking about the problem as a whole, and that invites them to take a part in the process. And I think once we kind of make that shift, often parents are at a better place to be able to get out the honesty. All right, and one more tip around this thing that we've been talking about, and understanding our kids and making them or allowing them to feel our love for them and wanting them to share the most vulnerable or shameful parts that they might be trying to tuck deep inside is, once I get a story, right? Again, trying not to jump right into confrontation or accusation. I might ask this phrase: is that everything I need to know? What's the magic of this phrase? The magic of this phrase is that it allows, it's a moment of grace. It's assuming that, I think you've done probably the most that you can emotionally, but you've probably held some things back. And I want to give you a second chance to invite me in, to let me be there with you to kind of coach you through to the next step. So give those a try. Let me know in the comments how you're able to find traction with that. Again, I know that there are circumstances that where you just have to be a little bit more direct than that. But I think, again, moving more towards a collaboration model will really pay dividends in the life of your connection to your kids and your family.